I am Napoleon Bonaparte. If you seek the stories behind great wars and great men, follow the after dust. (1812). Napoleon's greatest army was marching toward its greatest mistake.
Spring of 1812. Napoleon Bonaparte is at the top of Europe. He is 42 years old. He looks invincible. Austerlitz, Jena, Wagram won them all. It now rules most of Europe. But Tsar Alexander is secretly trading with the British. Napoleon cannot stand it. His advisors warn, "Your Majesty, Russia's too cold." "It's too big." Napoleon doesn't listen. "I will bring Russia to its knees. 3 months is enough." 685,000 soldiers. The largest army in history. June 24, 1812. The Niemen River is crossed. The Russian invasion begins. The Russians were waiting for Napoleon. There are 200,000 Russian soldiers, but they will not fight. Russian strategy: retreat. Burn everything. The order is given. Leave nothing to the enemy. Scorched earth tactic. Terrible but effective. Napoleon advances. Vilnius, Vitebsk, Smolensk. But the Russians always escape. July-August, first losses. Disease, dysentery, typhus. 150,000 soldiers were lost. There hasn't been a single major war yet. His marshals: "Your Majesty, let's go back." Napoleon: "Never, I will take Moscow." September 7, 1812, 120 kilometers west of Moscow, Borodino. Finally, the Russians stand. Kutuzov took a position with 120,000 soldiers. Napoleon attacks with 130,000. 6 o'clock in the morning, artillery fire, then infantry, then the cavalry. Hell. Raevsky Redoubt changes hands 7 times. Thousands of people are dying just for one hill. Evening, the Russians are withdrawing. Napoleon won, but French losses 30,000, Russian losses 45,000, 75,000 people in total. In one day. Napoleon is tired. "If I win another victory like this, we will be ruined." But Moscow is close. The Tsar will ask for peace. Sure, right? September 14, 1812. Napoleon at the gates of Moscow. Kutuzov evacuates the city. He does not defend. Napoleon looks on from Sparrow Hills, Golden Domes. At last, the Tsar will now ask for peace. But the city is like a ghost. 250,000 population fled. There's no one on the streets. Napoleon settles in the Kremlin. Victory. I'm waiting for a peace offer from Alexander. But at night, flames in the distance. Then from somewhere else. Then from everywhere. Moscow is burning. On the night of September 15th, Moscow is burning. There is no fire equipment. The wind fans the flames. September 16th. The fire is getting out of control. 75% of Moscow is on fire. Napoleon escapes from the Kremlin. Smoke, fire, chaos. For 5 days Moscow burns. In the end, ruins remain. There is no shelter. There is no food. Winter is approaching. Napoleon is shocked. Alexander burned his own city. He sends peace letters. 1, 2, 3. No answer. The Tsar will not meet. The 19th of October. Napoleon gives the most difficult order: we retreat. The 19th of October. The Grande army leaves Moscow. There are now 100,000 combat soldiers left. 585,000 missing. Napoleon is trying to go south, but Kutuzov is waiting. He is forced to return to the northern road. The way it came, it's already been destroyed. End of October. The first snow is falling. Hundreds of people fall behind every day. The Russians are following. Guerrilla war. Cossacks are constantly attacking. Discipline is dissolving. Early November. Snowfall is intensifying. minus 10 degrees Celsius, minus 15 degrees Celsius, minus 20 degrees Celsius. Hell begins. Mid-November, Russian winter, minus 25 degrees Celsius, minus 30 degrees Celsius, some nights minus 35 degrees Celsius. French soldiers are unprepared, summer uniforms, thin coats, hundreds of people freeze to death every morning. Horses are dying, the balls are abandoned, food is out. Horse meat, leather, worse. They reach Smolensk, but the warehouse has been looted. There isn't enough food. The Grande Army is no longer an army. Hungry, frozen, desperate people. The 26th of November. The biggest disaster is coming. Berezina River. November 26, 1812. Berezina River, Belarus. River ahead. There is no bridge. The ice is thin. They can't pass. 3 Russian armies are coming from behind. Trap. French engineers are building 2 temporary bridges in freezing water. Most of them die by freezing in water. The 27th of November. The transition begins. Panic. Everyone at once. Scuffle chaos. Russians are attacking. Artillery fire. People fall into the water. They die in freezing water. They live in hell for 2 days and nights. The 29th of November. Bridges are being burned. Thousands of people are stranded across the street. Berezina. 25,000 to 40,000 losses, but Napoleon crossed. He's still alive. December 5, 1812. Napoleon makes a decision. I must return to Paris. I must gather a new army. Midnight. Napoleon secretly leaves the Grande Army. He gets on the sled and he runs away. He relinquishes command to his marshals. You bring the rest. He arrives in Paris 14 days later. Europe was shocked. Napoleon abandoned his army. The remaining soldiers are withdrawing. Only a few thousand people. Minus 40 degrees Celsius. The 14th of December. Marshal Ney leaves Russia as the last French soldier. Out of 685,000, only 6,000 soldiers who can carry weapons are returning. 400,000 dead, 100,000 captives. The greatest disaster experienced by Napoleon. Spring 1813. The invincible myth of Napoleon has now been broken. Prussia finds courage. It is making an alliance with Russia. Austria changes sides, 6th coalition. Napoleon recruits 350,000 new soldiers in 6 months, but they're newbies now. 16-17-year-old children, 1,813, wins in Lutzen, Bautzen wins too. But it's not the same anymore. October 1813, Leipzig, War of the Nations. Coalition of 500,000 against 200,000 French. Napoleon is defeated. January 1814. Allies enter France. The 31st of March, Paris is falling. April 6, 1814. Napoleon abdicates. He is exiled to the island of Elba. The Russian occupation ended it. Why did Napoleon fail? First, distance. Moscow is 2,500 kilometers away. Supply lines are very long. Second, the greatness of Russia. 685,000 soldiers were lost in the huge lands. Third, burnt soil. The Russians burned everything. The army could not feed itself. Fourth, winter. General winter, minus 30 degrees Celsius, minus 40 degrees Celsius. The French are unprepared. Fifth, Russian resistance. Alexander never surrendered. He even sacrificed Moscow. Sixth, Napoleon's arrogance. 3 months is enough, he said. He didn't listen to history. Tolstoy wrote, Napoleon came to conquer Russia, but Russia conquered Napoleon. The Russian invasion of 1812 changed the world. Napoleon's myth has been destroyed. Europe found courage. 400,000 of 685,000 soldiers died. French, Germans, Poles, Italians. Europe's children froze in the snow of Russia. 200,000 to 250,000 soldiers died on the Russian side. Moscow was burned. A generation was lost. Russians call it patriotic war today. In 1941, Hitler will try too. It too will fail. The lesson is simple. Geography, climate, people's resilience. If you underestimate these, you will lose. 1812. The place that was Napoleon's beginning was also the beginning of his end. Grande army enters Russia. He turned out to be a ghost. The greatest disaster in history. Unforgettable lesson.
1812. Napoleon's greatest army was marching toward its greatest mistake. I am Napoleon Bonaparte. If you seek the stories behind great wars and great men, follow the after dust.